first visit to China was in about 1985 or so. I would like to have gone there before, but you couldn't. You couldn't get visas. And in 1985, you travelled by train everywhere. And most Chinese, when you're travelling by train, had literally never seen a foreigner before. So they'd look at me as something very strange. And they'd also, most of them, never seen a person of my height. So here was this enormously tall foreigner, like somebody from outer space. And so kids would come up and stare at you. And so this was the China of not all that long ago, about 20 years ago. In 1999 I had a book published called Cybercorp, and that was really saying what should a corporation look like in the age of cyberspace. And the Chinese liked that book and they translated it. They actually got the book into the shops in China before they did in the West. They translated it very quickly. And it was done by Tsinghua University, so I was invited over to that great university and taken on lots of tours around old, awful, clumsy communist corporations to talk about what they should be like. And it suddenly dawned on me that the people around the table, many of them were leadership people who'd gone through the Cultural Revolution. And 2 years ago they would not have dared to tell you what happened to them, but now suddenly they were prepared to talk about it. So I had a conversation on many occasions at dinner saying, what happened to you during the Cultural Revolution? And the stories they told were the most unspeakable nightmare. I mean, it was terrible what happened to people. You know, the young Red Guards were going to their homes and smash all their ceramics and burn all their books and drag them away from their families. And very often they'd have to walk around on all fours for a month with a placard around their neck. And then they'd be sent out to the country and never see their family for 10 years and have to look after pigs or lettuces or something like that. And it's quite outrageous that this could have happened. Now, just about every university was closed. Every theatre was closed unless it showed propaganda shows. And so it was a time when China backed away from all forms of culture. Now, by about about 1999, these people were prepared to talk about this, and now they were coming back into positions where their leadership qualities were very badly needed in China at that time. And so today you've got a body of people in China who know about the Cultural Revolution, think of it in absolute horror, and are utterly determined that that shall never happen again. I was in China recently and heard some of the ministers making a presentation, and the presentations were so intelligent, reasonable, common sense, that it suddenly struck me that, my goodness, this sounds more like Thomas Jefferson than Chairman Mao. They're looking at the world and asking the sort of questions that the founding fathers of America asked, Jefferson and his colleagues, what should our civilization be like? We're going to reinvent the world in the way that America reinvented itself after it got rid of the British.